Holding space is about showing up authentically and creating safety in the moments that matter most. From parenting littles to navigating friendships and partnerships, I reframe tantrums, conflicts, and messy feelings as invitations to connection. I'm Julia Clark, a psychotherapist and play therapist with over 30 years of experience walking alongside children, families, and the people who care for them. Each episode explores the building blocks of emotional literacy, co-regulation, and boundaries, while honoring the intergenerational stories we carry within. Blending science with lived wisdom, I believe growth is playful, healing is possible, and we are all learning together. Hi, I'm Julia, and together we're holding space. Today, we're exploring a behavior that almost every parent, caregiver, teacher, and even partner has struggled with at some point. Clinginess. The Velcro child on your leg, the tears that drop off, the constant, "Where are you going?" The teen who suddenly needs to sit a little closer. The partner who checks in a bit more when things feel uncertain. It can feel overwhelming. It can feel draining. It can even feel confusing when from the outside, nothing big seems to have triggered it. But here's the truth at the heart of today's episode. Clinginess isn't a behavior problem. It's a proximity-seeking strategy. It's the nervous system reaching for security. And this comes directly from the work of John Bowlby, the father of attachment theory. Clinginess through the lens of attachment. John Bowlby taught us that humans, especially children, are biologically wired to seek closeness to a safe caregiver whenever they feel uncertain, overwhelmed, stressed, or threatened. This isn't want, this is need. This is survival-level wiring. In attachment language, we call this proximity seeking. The instinctual drive to move towards the person who feels like safety. So when a child clings, hides behind you, grabs your leg, cries when you leave, or just needs to be physically close, they're not being dramatic. They're not trying to control you. And they're not spoiled. Their nervous system is signaling a need for safety. And proximity, closeness, is how they regulate. Let's talk about why clinginess shows up. Clinginess is a nervous system cue that says, "Stay close, I feel unsure." Or, "I need your steadiness because mine is shaky." Or, "The world feels big, I need my anchor." Or, "I'm not okay being separate right now." Sometimes this happens during obvious transitions, starting school, a new sibling, illness, family changes, a move, fatigue, and sensory overwhelm. But sometimes clinginess appears with no clear cause. That doesn't mean there isn't one. Most emotional triggers in children, and many in adults, are internal. A bad dream, a loud noise that startled them, a difficult interaction earlier in the day, a moment of shame, a private worry, a dip in regulation, a subtle change in your tone, or a feeling of disconnection. We don't always have access to the whole story, but the behavior gives us the information. Clinginess is the body saying, "Please be my safe place while I find my footing again." Clinginess across the ages and how it changes. For young children, clinginess is most visible in early childhood. Toddlers cling because they're building object permanence. They're learning that people return. Preschoolers cling when they're overwhelmed by separation, noise, or transition. School-age children cling when something feels off, inside, even if they can't name it. For tweens and teens, with older children, clinginess shows up differently. Hovering in the room, wanting to talk at bedtime, checking in more often, being sensitive to tone, getting snappy when they're scared of losing closeness. Teenage clinginess often masquerades as attitude. Underneath the prickles is usually, stay close, I'm not as grown as I look. And for adults, clinginess might look like needing reassurance, wanting more check-ins, needing closeness during conflict, or feeling anxious when the relationship feels off. This too is proximity seeking. This too is attachment. Let's look at some real-life examples of what clinginess is trying to tell us. At home, the child who won't let go. It's time for you to leave for work. Your child wraps their arms around your neck and begins to cry. They say, "Don't go, stay." On the surface, it looks like resistance, manipulation, or overreaction. But inside their nervous system, the message is, I need your security so I can feel safe in the separation. When a parent slows down and says, you really need to stay close right now, I'm right here, the child often softens because safety was restored. At school, the student who clings to the teacher. A student follows the teacher around the classroom, asks constant questions, or becomes distressed when attention shifts to another child. It's tempting to label this as attention-seeking, but Bowlby teaches us that attention-seeking is connection-seeking, and connection-seeking is regulation-seeking. That student may need predictability, a nurturing tone, clear transitions, or a few extra moments of connection before engaging in independence. When teachers offer small doses of attuned presence, clinginess decreases because the nervous system no longer has to ask so loudly. What about with a partner? Why are you so needy lately? Partners also proximity seek during times of stress, illness, conflict, or emotional distance. One partner may become clingier, checking in more, asking for reassurance, wanting more closeness. Not because they're fragile, but because their attachment system is activated. A partner saying, "Are you okay? You feel far away," is proximity seeking disguised as worry. The antidote isn't pushing them back. It's grounding in the connection. A gentle hand, a soft, "I'm here, and I see you." Just like children, adults regulate through closeness. In the playroom, Bowlby in action. Children often enter the playroom unsure. It's a new space, a new relationship with unknown expectations. Clinginess here might look like staying close to me, checking my reactions, or needing constant verbal reassurance. Axeline's principles align perfectly with Bowlby's attachment insights. When the therapist moves slowly, lets the child lead, respects their hesitations, and meets their need for proximity, the child eventually ventures further into play. Safety creates exploration, just like in adult relationships, just like in families, just like in life. What we miss when we misinterpret clinginess. When clinginess is labeled as too much, manipulative, attention-seeking, or babyish, we miss the signal. We miss the nervous system message. I'm not okay yet. Please stay close. We also unintentionally increase fear, shame, or disconnection, which ironically makes clinginess stronger. But when we respond with steadiness, attunement, and presence, the system calms. Connection becomes the bridge back to independence. How to support clinginess without being pulled under. Here are some grounded practices rooted in attachment theory. 1. Name the need. You really want me close right now. 2. Offer proximity in a manageable way. You can hold my hand while I get my shoes on. 3. Use micro connections. A touch, eye contact, a soft, I'm right here. 4. Create a ritual for separation. A special goodbye, a note, a symbol of connection they can carry with them. 5. Keep your tone warm. Clinginess responds to gentleness, not firmness. 6. Hold your boundary with softness. I do have to go, and I will always come back. 7. Reflect safety, even when they're falling apart. I know this is hard. You're safe. I'm still with you. These small moments shape felt security, the deepest kind of attachment Bowlby spoke about. A mom once told me, "My son has become so clingy since starting school. Every morning is a meltdown." As we unpacked it, she realized mornings were rushed, fast-paced, pressured, all cues of danger to a small nervous system. They slowed down the routine, added a 2-minute cuddle on the couch, created a small see you soon ritual, and the clinginess eased within days. Not because the child stopped needing closeness, but because he finally received the closeness his nervous system was calling for. Proximity met the need. Security restored independence. Take a slow breath with me now. Inhale. Exhale. Think of someone in your life who gets clingy. A child, a partner, a friend, even yourself. Ask gently, what safety are they reaching for? What uncertainty might be underneath? How can I offer connection without losing myself? What would felt security look like right here? Clinginess is never a flaw. It's a longing, a reaching, a nervous system seeking home. And when we meet that need with warmth and steadiness, we strengthen the attachment system from the inside out. This is part of our Holding Space series, where we learn to see behavior through the lens of the nervous system and meet it with compassion, curiosity, and connection. Thank you for being here and for holding space with me. If the content of this podcast really resonated with you and you'd like to go even deeper, I'd love to invite you to step into this work more fully. Beyond the podcast, there are many ways that we can connect. Individual therapy for your child, parent coaching or support for yourself, and deeper I Am sessions that explore intergenerational patterns. Additionally, I also offer webinar workshops and weekend retreats for parents, classes, intensive trainings and supervision for therapists, and large group presentations for educators or school presentations. Each are designed to help us hold space for the next generation of children in safe, attuned, and meaningful ways. You can learn more and explore what fits best for you at clarity.family.